So when I was first saying that Xbox was dominating or will dominate from a content perspective, judging by their showcase and the number of games that they were now responsible for, I used to hear people say they're not dominating anything, their console sales are low. Well, ended up being the console sales for their competitor, PlayStation, is higher, but their game release cadence, trash. They've been releasing, remasters. And I'm not downing PlayStation for not releasing games. I am, however, trying to hold them accountable for spending their resources trying to block games from other platforms rather than investing it in their own ecosystem within their studios. And so when, it kind of came from push to shove, guess what? They did not necessarily seem interested in expanding the Spider-Man 2 game. Ended up after we saw the leaks, they canceled everything and seemingly moved on. Now, after these goalposts attempted to be moved, and now it's already realized that if you go and look at even so-called PlayStation, the games that are dominating are Xbox games. One thing about PlayStation fans and fanboys is they'll do the thing where they want to be pedantic and they want to actually move goalposts and add extra qualifiers and stuff, and they back themselves into a corner. For instance, this comment that is giving me advice on how I should, title my videos, because I guess the title burns your eyes, says, should read Microsoft Game Studios, Microsoft Studios Games Publisher Dominance, because I said in the title of the video, Xbox Games Dominance basically is being shown because PlayStation players are pretty much going around and enjoying those games, right? Now, let's go ahead and take a look at basically what this person was pretty much, alluding to. So when I was talking about stuff in that regard and talking about the dominance of the Xbox platform with regard to what games, I alluded to the pre-order list on the PlayStation Store. On that pre-order list on the PlayStation Store are actually Xbox games. In fact, the number 1 and the number 2 and the number 3, and at one point the number 4 spot were actually occupied by Xbox games. And if anybody wants to really be technical and say it's because of Microsoft Games Publishing, yabba dabba dabba, you got to look at Forza and tell yourself, am I being honest with myself? Or is Pedantic going to pretty much get me the games that I bought my PlayStation for? Pedantic ain't going to get you anywhere. PlayStation has basically shot themselves in the foot. Let me go ahead and explain this thing from beginning to end, if I possibly, well, I said from beginning to end, from top to bottom, because end, we don't know where this thing is going to end. I guess I should be much more, clear in my statements. Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Let's go ahead and start this thing from the top to bottom. PlayStation spent all those years in the PS4 generation, and even in some of the PS5 generation, blocking games from going to Xbox. Xbox, being backed by the company Microsoft, realized that there was something they could do about it. Well, when it came down to it and they figured out there was something they could do about it, they started to acquire studios. That's where you probably now have Xbox in charge of a number of studios that have already tagged the Xbox Game Studios. Then, as things started to get more and more heated and PlayStation attempted to reach its nasty, scummy hands and try to money hat and lock down a third Bethesda game after having locked down Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop, Xbox went, get lost. We're going to go ahead and buy the entire publisher. So now an entire publisher now belongs to Xbox, and one of their games is now here dominating the pre-order list with another one coming up the ranks. Very interesting. And then as things went on, an opportunity opened up for Xbox to pretty much enter a phase of basically content ownership that has not been seen in the gaming industry for a minute. You see, the regulators were paying very strict attention to the Activision deal. As they were doing that, I was thinking to myself, man, could this be all what it is? Because if you kind of think about it, Bethesda at that time, their cadence was like the Fallout, then they had the Fallout 76 drama and so on and so forth. So they weren't necessarily looked at as a threat. And to be honest, even when Activision was looked at in that regard, you could see that, maybe the threat to PlayStation was the fact that PlayStation would not leverage it to have a better version and possibly sell more consoles. But what nobody envisioned was the collective of all those games without exclusivity in a time where PlayStation has basically blown all its money blocking games from Xbox and in some cases PC. Now, whereas PlayStation's finances, they've invested it in live service games such as Concord, which has disappeared. They've invested it in Bungie, which is making Marathon, which has received a cold reception. The game might do well. I hope the game does well. They've also invested in games like Fair Games, of which that's been looked at by the gaming community as, maybe this is probably, something that may have people have to watch carefully before they engage in. So for this comment, I know you want to be pedantic. I know, Degsy, you want to just, come out and say something. But you got to go get yourself an Xbox. Stop commenting on the Video Game Fight School channel and actually play these games, bro. And play them cheap. Take advantage of what Xbox is doing. If you hate Xbox this much, you should probably be one of the proponents and the owners of Game Pass subscription. Just like all the PlayStation talking heads who come out here and say, oh, they don't like Xbox. Man, I'm really, it's really funny because if you don't like a company and they have things that maybe you might like or whatever it is, I'd say you need to get in there. You don't have to tell us, you don't have to tell anybody. We're not saying, oh, make sure you come back and report and let us know how you're enjoying that, Game Pass. No. You can still be fanboying and console warring in public and secretly at night. Go to your little corner and hit that button in the blue. And then that Xbox sound, the Xbox sound, and then, you just get in on there, and then you play those games, and you come out next morning and be like, Xbox is dead, That's gonna that's okay. It's exactly what this whole gaming thing has become. Because you see, I told you when I was making these analyses, there was a lot of noise. A lot of the PlayStation fanboys were all over. They were just blah 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 blah. But now, quiet. They have to now actually deal with this picture in reality. And you know why? You see, gamers have the propensity to forget things really quick. This is why I enjoy repeating content on the Video Game Fight School channel, so that it's not gonna go anywhere. Right? So that we remember, and I would like for everybody to remember, these images that we're seeing. Can you imagine that there's an Oblivion remake? Like that thing is real. I thought that thing was a rumor. The leaks of the images, unless somebody is messing with all of us, man. That's when we'll think that this Oblivion, look at Rebs Gaming is saying that Oblivion Remastered will feature a deluxe edition. Bro, are they seriously adding one more game that they were planning to shadow drop on top of everybody? Yo, this thing is getting out of hand. Even I myself that criticized Xbox at one time for not dumping enough content on PlayStation, I'm starting to feel like maybe I done messed up. What is going on here? How is anybody supposed to be able to go around and play all these games? It seems Xbox doesn't care. Do you want to play it? Get in here. Do you want to try it out? Get in here. Do you want to get a save file? Do you want to, flex with your homies and be like, yeah, I just played all these games, or I just started these games, and the graphics, what do you want to do? Goodness gracious. So whether it be, Microsoft Game Studios or Xbox Game Studios or whatever qualifier you want to use, I think Xbox meets those criteria, because whether it be games from Xbox Game Studios, they're dominating on PlayStation. Forza is a clear example. Age of Empires is a clear example. Whether it be Bethesda games, because y'all mock Bethesda games. You're like, yeah, Bethesda doesn't really have any. Shh. I saw your comments. I saw them. I read them. I was looking, going, really? I was very surprised. Because y'all said it. There's no limits to what the PlayStation fanboy can and has said. Oh, Bethesda games are not really that interesting. Here. They are buying these games. Somebody told me that pre-order numbers are not representative of sales. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Pre-order means that they've actually bought the game. It's a sale. Oh, good. I saw the comment. Should we make another video on that? Let's make another video on that. I'm telling you, PlayStation fanboys, stop it. Get yourself a Game Pass subscription. You can play via cloud. You don't have to get an Xbox. That way nobody knows that you're secretly doing this Xbox thing, because I know many of you are secretly dying to dial in. Do it. We're not going to judge you. No one's going to know. You can even come out and beat your chest and say, like I said, hey, console sales. And we'll be like, sure. But secretly though, you be a completionist. Get that 100%, buddy. Yeah, those achievements is that's what they call them on Xbox, right? I said trophies one time, and Xbox fans were like, "VG, it's called achievements." I'm like, "Oh, calm down, guys." All right, peace out.